welcome to the Knitting Samurai and her guys. This is episode 117. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai. Thank you so much for joining me. I love our time together. I love sitting and chatting with you guys, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch me. I know you have a lot of other choices out there, and it's just great to have this with you. So thank you. Let's jump right into it, okay? So here we are. It is, what is today? Wednesday, the 18th of February. We are smack dab. Well, no, we're not. We're more towards the end of our short sleeve sweater knit along. There was a huge amount of buzz and chatter about it, and I feel like a lot of us have finished, including myself. So that is loosely, everyone's knitting the Miranda, but some people are not, and that's okay as long as it's a similar styling sweater. The point of the knit along is to help each other out. So here it is. Here is my finished sweater. And this is the Miranda by Josie Paquin, and I use Cascade 220 Heathers in the Lake Sheland colorway, and knit on US size 8s, 5mm needles. And this is what I have to say to you. Let's see, if I tip it a little bit, you generally get a better shot. Gauge lies or something. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, I was thinking about this. I would say I am a 6 happiness with this finished project. I haven't even tried it on. I wove in my ends, I blocked it to make sure, and my goal was to make it a little wider, right? You saw my earlier recap of it. Actually, you probably didn't. Let me share that with you. This is what I thought before I finished it. So here I am with another midweek update. I couldn't resist. So this morning I attached the pocket. I love how that turned out. This whole center panel looks great. 2 thumbs up. I was working on the edging, and every row I kept weighing my skein because I'm a little nervous about how much is left here, and I wasn't using up anymore, and the weight wasn't changing. So okay, fine, go as long as you want. I had, the pattern calls for 3/4 of an inch of ribbing at the bottom edge, and I've done a little bit more than that, and I'm picturing it cinching in right about my hips and doing a little bit more so it'll go in around that area and be nice and snug on my top hips. And I thought, let me just try it on, see how it's going. So put it on a pair of size 2s I have hanging around for my other set of needles. I go in the bathroom. Oh my god, look at how long this thing is. But you know, I've had a few minutes to think about it and walk around the house wearing it in my lovely outfit. Do you like this? Yes, my fatigue pants and my sleeve, my gray with teal. It's beautiful, isn't it? Not wear this out in public, but home with a little sick baby, it's okay. He doesn't mind. He really doesn't mind, and he's wearing black today, so we matched. But that's not what we're talking about. So I think that doing a little bit of blocking will give me a little extra tummy room, which is what I wanted, and it'll raise it up a little bit. So good to know going into blocking that I want to get a little extra width out of it and cinch up or raise up the length a little bit. And I am definitely done with my ribbing. I'm going to bind off right here. I have about 60 yards left in this skein, so I'll do my sleeve caps or my little bit of sleeve. I'm going to do some ribbing right there on both sides because they're on holders right now. I can't wait to do that because the sleeves are just kind of long. And then I'll have a finished sweater. So here I am later in the week to tell you that. Okay, so then I finished the sweater. And yeah, like I said, I'm a 6 happiness with it because it's huge, right? I blocked it. I haven't even put it on because, well, yeah, it's probably 2 inches too big around, and I knit it with what, 2 or 3 inches of ease. I feel like I just can't win. Like, I do the math and I measure a sweater I have that I like the fit of, and I get gauge, and it still doesn't turn out. And I don't know, it's either too long, too short. Like the Jackaroo, the Amy Hartzog pattern was supposed to be my perfect sweater. I knit that with Barocco. What's the one that's an acrylic blend? Oh, help me. I can hear you. I know you're trying to tell me Barocco Vintage. That doesn't sound right. Maybe it is. I'm confusing that with, yeah, no, it's vintage. It's vintage. So I knit that, right? It's supposed to fit me perfect. It's like negative ease. I knit this with a little bit of positive ease to try and compensate for my last sweater. It's huge. Like, where is this middle ground? Is it really just you get lucky Because that's what I'm starting to feel like. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the math, I want it to be a science. I want to be able to look at a sweater, do the calculation, and say, yep, this many inches around, that I get the gauge, that's what it's gonna be. So is the wool lying to me? Yeah, no, I know it. I can hear it. I know what you're thinking. And I just don't want to admit it, that I need to wash and block a swatch to have a completely successful sweater. I know. I'm just the gambler. That's me. You know, never order the same thing twice in a restaurant, even if you know you love one dish. Try them all. Try everything all the time. So why would I plan ahead and swatch and wash? That's just too much work. Not fun knitting time. But in the end, I'm left with this sweater, which I will wear. And maybe I'll, you know, it doesn't match with my, I know, but can you tell what color I like these days? Yeah, I don't know. Sad panda. That's just all I have to say. But I could put it on and love it, and it is intended, maybe I'll wear it at home tonight now that I've shared it with you. It's not intended to be something I would wear to work, right? Like, this isn't really a styling I would wear at my office. But it would be cozy for in the evenings at home. It would be great for fiber festivals, for the weekends. Like, that's what I knit this for. So now that you've seen it, I need to start wearing it around the house, and maybe, yeah, I will grow to love it. So the sweater knit along for this goes until February 28th. That's your last day to post a finished object picture in the thread. And there are 2 prizes so far, which that's all they're gonna be. One is a bag made by Allison. It's a very cute, deep, probably, it's bigger than a single skein, 2 or 3 skein, like you couldn't get a sweater in it. But anyways, a project bag from her that's a cute checkerboard pattern. And then the other prize, they're sitting together, is a skein of yarn. What is the skein of yarn? Knit Picks Chroma, I think. Anyways, there should be pictures somewhere. There should be. Whether or not there are, I don't know. So that's that. Okay, clean slate. Let's be excited instead. It's Finisher Frog at February. And I am working along with Knitting Blooms on that. And I earmarked 6 projects that if I could get through some of them, I'd consider it successful. And these are all projects that have been languishing, right? They're hibernating projects. I was not interested in knitting them for some reason, XYZ reason. And so it started off that I was still not interested in knitting them, but I thought I would work on them as a way. New Fat Squirrel bag, I love it. As I would start working on them as a way just to get through it and push myself and force myself. And do you know what happened? It's amazing what happened, because the more I worked on them, the more excited about them I've become, to the point where I am thrilled to be working on these projects right now. I couldn't be more excited if the patterns were just released yesterday and the yarn was fresh out of my mailbox. New yarn smell. Like, I am so excited to be working on these patterns. So I just want to share that with you. So the first one, I'm going to do this one first, is the Grace by Jane Richmond. So this is a very old green yarn. That's how I think of it. When did I cast this on? I have it in my notes. Please hold. I cast on March 2013. I want to say I've had this yarn since 2008. That's going to be my ballpark guess. Maybe 2009. And it's new tweed. It's discontinued. It's a Stacy Tacky Stacy Charles yarn. And I love knitting with this. Who knew? I had known how much I was going to love working with this yarn. It would not have sat for that long, and I would have another sweater's worth of it. So it's a 70 merino, 15 silk, 11 cotton, 4 viscose. It was 100 yards per skein, and I have 10 skeins. Are you ready? I feel a little bit like Lewis Black. So excited. So here it is in a yarny pile of goodness. I'm gonna get it straight. So I had thrown it down at this point right here, where my little stitch marker is. So you can see I was about 6 inches past the armholes. Really good progress into a sweater, and then it sat for 2 years. And I pulled it back up because it seemed like the right thing to do. I remeasured, as I said last time, it's right in terms of gauge. I had a sleeve in progress just to make sure I had enough of the sleeve. I don't even know. I'm like so scattered. I'm so excited to talk about this. I guess I'll turn it this way so you can see the front of it a little better. So yes, the lace pattern on the back or the top is off from what is for the Grace, because I was one stitch off for the whole entire thing. So that's okay with me. I don't mind. It's Grace inspired. So it's a top-down raglan, and yeah, I know it's a whole lot of stockinette. So I did some decreases, waist shaping in and out, and I measured a sweater that I like to wear to make sure I was getting the right length from the underarm to the bottom of the hem, because I just had the problem with the Miranda, that it was too long, and so then I tried to compensate with blocking, and now it's too wide, and I just want to throw it in the dryer. Maybe that's what I'll do, throw it in the dryer. More on that. Yeah, so I am now working on the bottom edging. I've got about 1 inch into the ribbing, which is a 1x1 rib, and I think I need another inch to go here. I have this much left of the skein, so it's about a half a skein, and 2 more skeins. So when I'm done with the edging, then I go up and do some edging around the collar, the button bands. Oh, did I mention that the pattern is designed for fingering weight and I'm using worsted? I know, here, let me tempt fate some more. So collar, button bands, and then sleeves, but I have, like, as you just saw, this much of the first sleeve. So with my about 300 yards, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna make it. And the length that I decided to make it was 15.5 inches from the underarm. It looks really short to me looking at it right here, but I think it's gonna be okay. I measured a sweater I already have that I wear all the time. So I'm just so excited about this. It feels great. I wonder if I got the Remix yarn, which I think is a discontinued yarn that I've always loved, but I didn't buy, Barocco Remix. And that's one of those, like, everything but the kitchen sink yarns, if I would like the feel of that. Because the hand reads to me, but the hand of it, to me, it feels like a cotton yarn. It kind of reminds me of the, what's that yarn? Sweater yarn? Spun and Chloe sweater, but with great tweed effect to it. So I really love that. That's what I would call a non-traditional, unusual tweeding effect with the salmon and the, I don't know what you call it, teal color. I know what we'd call it. We'd call it, I don't know, blanking. Oh boy. Anyways, it's been a long week. Just leave it at that. But you know what? Once Friday is over, my life goes back to normal. I stop working crazy long days, working through lunch. Big presentation on Friday. Once I get that under my belt, I can breathe for another month, and then it gets crazy again. But I'm just pretending I don't see that coming down the road. So I am so excited, and I am definitely gonna have this finished by the end of the month. At the speed I'm going, come on, edging and 2 sleeves, 300 yards. Maybe I'll have it done for next week. And that will make 2 sweaters in the month of February. That was one of my goals for the whole year, I think, was to do 2. Maybe it was 4 and make up for last year. I don't remember. Mission 2015. But I'm just excited. I don't need to yell at you. I hope you're this excited about your knitting. You know, it's the winter. It's the middle of the winter here. We are getting dumped on daily, it seems like, with 10 inches of snow every day. The snow outside our window is as tall as I am, and I'm 5'7". So it's just, there's a lot of snow, and I don't ever remember there being this much snow, and it's easy to get drawn into the just being dreary and down this time of year and want to knit with happy colors. And green is not such a happy color, but I am excited about this. And I am still so excited with my sweater knitting that I'm gonna cast on another sweater. I'm gonna do the Stoker by Isolde Teague as a knit along with Southern Girl Knits. That's Tish, and if you aren't watching her, you should. Hey, Tish. She has a great podcast, and she's working on knitting, not her first sweater, but she needs motivation to help her get through sweater knitting. So if you are knitting any sweater whatsoever, you can join her knit along. And I'm gonna do the Stoker with her just to be supportive. So I've been thinking about knitting from stash. What am I gonna use? Cascade 220. I have some, I even thought about using some gray cottonies, because just what do I have large quantities of in my stash that I can help work through. And what I landed on was, there was a sweater that I knit for Roland that's laying out on the changing table waiting for me to put it on Tristan. It's a green sweater. I had it in the opening credits for a very long time. Green sweater with color work on the yoke. And he wore it to Rhinebeck one year. It had, I want to say, at least 4 different colors on the yoke, and then the dark forest green of the body. And I have enough of all of those yarns to knit myself a sweater, so I think that's what I'm going to substitute in for that. But because my motivation, I am just running downhill, and it's so strong with this sweater that I'm going to wait and cast on another dark green sweater until after this one's done. But I feel like they're very different wearing occasions for a color work yoked sweater pullover, but maybe I'll stake it, and a lacy cardigan. So yeah, I'm thinking I bought the pattern the other day. I read through the instructions for the Stoker, which maybe I'm saying that wrong. I'll put the name under the pattern, but that's how I say it in my head. I read through the instructions, and I don't personally look great in pullovers, just my anatomy, the way I'm shaped. So I'm thinking I might do it as with steeking, like knit the size I want. Oh my goodness, could my phone stop blowing up? Steek it, and possibly, based on what other people have done, do it as a short sleeve, because I feel like that's more wearable for me. It's an Aran white sweater, and that yarn is definitely a worsted or an Aran. I don't know that I will be cool enough that I could, like, that it would be very functional for me to wear on a not daily basis, but to wear in my life, to have a long sleeve pullover. I think it'd be too hot. I think that would be more of an outside sweater. So if I made it short sleeves, I could wear it on the weekends around the house. I could wear it to work. I would wear that to work, no matter what. But if I make it short sleeves, I'm probably not gonna make it a cardigan. So I guess, well, I don't have to figure that out until I get up to, because it's bottom up, so until I get up to the yoke, one sleeve length will matter. Thanks for talking this through with me. The other project that I'm on again, off again excited about. Right now I'm excited about because it's going so fast, and I'm sorry I forgot my blockers. So these are affectionately called the potty socks, and they are knit with red hearts. Where did you go? Heart and souls in the blackjack colorway. There's my little marker to show you where I was when I picked them back up. And it's my first Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I finished up the leg, round off that one. The second one is in my bag, and I have this much going on it. So I ordered a couple more sets of the Knitter's Pride carbons. Pretty sure they're carbons, because I wasn't able to buy that Minerva turkey to check them out on Amazon, and yep, they do come in 2 days. But I really am enjoying my carbons needles, and I want to use them for my barn raising quilt. So I got a set for that, and then I got a pair for knitting with a Stoker. So they are fixed instead of the interchangeables, which I do love so much, but I'm just buying these fixed. I don't know if they come in interchangeable or not. I have not looked around enough to see that. So anyways, 2x2 rib toe up. What else to tell you about this? I'm not wild about the yarn. I'm not color. I'm not wild about, I guess they'll be hard wearing. Yeah, it feels fine. It doesn't feel any different than an opal. Clearly, or it's clear to me that when I bought these from AC Moore, I think, I got them up in Maine. It was a crazy, hey, it's on sale, throw a bunch of things in my basket. Can you see that? I don't know if you can, but they are definitely not the things I bought. Oh, 1, 2 packs. Let's investigate together. Color, the color is the same. Lot 802, lot 813. Yep, so this one is more saturated, and this one I actually like the color way more than this one. The salmon fuchsia color is much more vibrant and much more washed out over here. So it's fine, they're gonna go in the gift box because they don't fit me. It was my first Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I really should have just ripped it out and made them so they would fit me, but instead I just kept going, so it's fine. Always need gift socks in the gift box. So that will be, and then I also frogged a pair of socks, which I mentioned last week. So that would be 3 of my 6 projects done, because those will be done in no time, for finish or frog it February. Yes, yes, that gets a whip countdown. And I finished my last pair of stripy socks and didn't let myself cast on a new pair. And I still haven't allowed myself to cast on the Easy shawl. So by Martina Ben, which I want that too. I want all the things. All the things. Maybe I'll take a day off next week and just stay at home and knit by myself. No sick children. No work getting in the way. Just knit. So I'm actually really surprised at the volume of knitting I've gotten done. Last weekend was a good weekend for me. It just worked out that way. Ro had his very first play date. So he and the dads arranged it. So they're getting to know each other and they're going to be friends, and it's great. This is one of his friends from daycare. So he informed me on Friday that Parker was his best friend, and their play date was scheduled for Saturday. So they spent most of Saturday, well, all of Saturday morning together, the dads and the boys. So it was a good time, but it wasn't at my house. And so Tristan took his nap and I was free to watch TV and do whatever I wanted. So speaking of TV, I finished watching Falling Skies with Noah Wiley. You'll remember him as Carter from ER. It's definitely a sci-fi show, so if that's not your thing, don't watch it. But I really enjoyed it. I watched 4 seasons in like 3 weeks, and I enjoyed how every season they sort of reinvented the obstacles, the challenges that were involved. It wasn't the same old shtick, you know. So I got very involved, and I have to wait until June until season 5 is aired on TNT. I don't know. So I'm sure it'll be on Amazon Prime pretty quick after that. But I might just go to my parents' house and watch it over there. Speaking of that, oh, I forgot to put in my notes. Mom and I have been binging on Downton. The last 2 Friday nights have been, that's another reason why I've gotten a lot of knitting done. Because when you think about it, that's like 6 hours of knitting. I've gone over to there, put the boys to bed, say bye, Steve. Gone over to my parents' house and completely carefree date night with Mom. But we've been watching Downton. So much fun. I feel like season 2 of Downton was a real hiccup. Was that the war season? There were like 2 seasons right there where I did not enjoy it. No, it must have just been season 2. And then season 3, I forced myself to watch. Season 4 I thought was great. Season 5 is the current one. I think it's very good as well. So can't say enough good things about Downton. And Violet, or the Countess, whatever, the Dowager, and Mrs. Crowley, their dialogues back and forth slay me. They are hilarious together. So really enjoying that. What else have we been watching? I took Kate from Stitch Addiction. I took her suggestion about watching Broadchurch with David Tennant, Doctor Who. I watch everything I can get my hands on with David Tennant. So I started that. I find it very intriguing. Based on Kate's, so she had watched the whole series and sort of put a disclaimer on it. Be careful, this is highly emotionally charged stuff. It's about the murder of a little boy. And so that kind of puts me on edge. Like, I can't watch SVU anymore. I used to watch it, and then Roland was born. I can't watch it anymore. So I was like, but it's David Tennant. Let me check it out. I don't find it too overwhelming. I'm able to watch it. So you may enjoy it. I think I've seen 2 out of the 8 episodes. So not all the way through it, but so far so good. Last night we watched Big Hero 6. So we are big on planes, right? And that's a Pixar production. We enjoyed Frozen, so why wouldn't we enjoy Big Hero 6? It was slow to get going. It was very adult. Not adult, but like we did a pre-showing with some of our friends just to see if how violent it was, if we would want to share that with our 3-year-old. I definitely, within the first, like, they dismantled a robot in a robot fight. Right off the bat, I was like, no, he can't even watch superheroes. I'm not like Spider-Man and any of that. I want to keep him little sweet boy as long as I can, which I'm sure someday I'm gonna get like, no, mommy. But for now, yeah. So I probably watched an hour of it before I fell asleep. And then our friends got up to leave and I'm like awake and talking, and we chatted for another hour or so after that, just because I guess I thought it was a boring movie and I didn't really enjoy it. But it was also really cold in our house and I couldn't knit, and that just makes me cranky. So my own fault there. And yeah, I think that's it for TV. I told you that I want to knit the Easy Shawl. I've shown you my new bags, but I have not shown you my new yarn yet. So I didn't realize. Maybe it's a user error. Probably is user error. That happens with me. So you know when Blip kicked everybody off and a bunch of people just said, okay, I'm not participating in iTunes anymore. I am an iTunes junkie. So, or podcast app. That's what I use. And the reason I'm so dedicated to that program is that I can do double speed. If I could double speed YouTube, I would watch YouTube, but I can't. So if you are a podcast and you're only on YouTube, I'm not going to watch you. I might on a rare occasion, but yeah, you know, the podcast app, they just deliver onto my phone. They download them themselves. When I need them, they're there. I watch them as fast as I want, and then I'm done. So all that to say that I thought I lost Fiber Nymph 90% knitting with her podcast, but I happened to be searching around. I think I was using Apple TV on the computer, which I had on the TV, which I haven't used in months. And it was on Saturday because Tristan was hanging out with me watching Apple TV. And I found her. I found her on iTunes again. So she's over there. I don't know if you're like me and thought she was gone, but she is. So I caught back up with her. Maybe this was 2 Saturdays ago. Anyway, it's here now. So I don't think the yarn could have gotten here by Wednesday. But I ordered some yarn. All this to say that I was very motivated after catching up with Lisa of Fiber Nymph to get some new yarn. So I got 2 skeins. One is a Valentine's yarn. It's after Valentine's, but that's okay. I'll save it for next year. Shot Through the Heart. So that is a bright red, like a lavender and a black striping yarn. Very pretty. And that's on her Bounce Base, which is an 80/20 merino nylon. And then the other one is a leftover Christmas yarn. But it's Christmas, but I don't know. It's not super Christmas. So this is called You're So Scrooged. And it is a, what would I call it? A spruce green, a lime green, bright red, and then a charcoal color. So it's very pretty. So I'm very excited to have new self-striping yarn. It was a good mail day the other day. So, and I will have more to share with you next time. And then I have to stop because even though I've knit 2 sweaters, I don't need to buy any more yarn. I had my cart loaded up with a whole nother sweater worth of yarn from Webs. They had a great discount closeout on a yarn that just looked gorgeous, and I walked away. I don't think I've ever done that. I was like, I'm just gonna leave it, and if tomorrow morning I still want it, I'll buy it. So, yay for willpower. Yeah, because I'm going to have less. I'm going to end the year with less than I started for stash because we need to move. We need to move out of our condo. It's not big enough for the 4 of us anymore. So everything I can do. I'm using hair gels I've been saving. I'm drinking coffees that have been shoved in the back. I'm eating canned food. Like, start now. Get through it now. Even if we don't move for another 1.5 years. Yeah, 1.5 years, that's our timeline. I'm prepping now. I do what I can. So, want to see some footage of the boys? So Tristan on Tuesday was army crawling and then going up on his knees and taking like 2 crawls and then going back on his belly and like wiggling around. On Friday, Tristan was crawling on all 4 knees, everywhere, all hands and knees, everywhere all the time. And we can't stop him. And he's into everything. And I walked in the other day and he had crawled over to a kid table, had his mouth against it, and was trying to pull himself up. I don't know if he was trying to use his teeth or just his hands, but it was very, very cute to see him do that. So I recorded this video of him crawling around before he was crawling.
Hey, happy baby. You coming to see me? What about? Keep going. There it goes. Oh, now you're a seal. Now the happy baby's a seal. Hello, Hamper. What's in here? Ah, nothing. Wait. What are you going to do with it? What? Are you going to sit on your bum? There you go. Hi, Tristan.
So that's my little guy, that's Tristan, and he is officially 8 months old. And then there's Roland, who is 3 and 5 months, almost 6 months, almost 3.5. And he is just crazy, sweet energy. Oh my goodness, he comes up with some of the funniest things. He told me we were driving home in the snow, slush, it had been a blizzard. Wind had blown snow all over the roads. They were clean, but then they were a mess from all the blowing snow. And he told me that Mommy's car is strong. It's the strongest car, that's why we like riding in Mommy's car. Like, okay, oh, that's good. What? Okay, what about the other cars? Daddy's car is slippery. Like, okay, well, he's got the concept that yes, the CRV is far superior to the Forester, if you ask me. So I just thought it was really funny that his expression of, I like this better, like he didn't know the words to say, you're a way better driver, Mommy, than Daddy is. And he worded it as, it's strong. So I'm gonna go and get back to my crazy work life. But before I do that, I'm gonna share this video of Steve reading to the boys this morning. So The Gruffalo is one of our favorite books. It is, I've mentioned this before, on Netflix. Gruffalo, Gruffalo's Child, and Room on the Broom. If you have a 3-year-old, you need to watch those movies with them. They are amazing. And since we've seen the movies, we had the books before we watched the movies, but since we've seen the movies, Steve now reads the books with a British accent. So you might get a hint of that in this morning's reading of The Gruffalo.
A Gruffalo? Why didn't you know? He has knobbly knees and turned out toes, and a poisonous wart at the end of his nose. Where are you meeting him? Here, by this stream, and his favourite food.
It's owl ice cream.
Owl ice cream, too-hoo, goodbye.
So that's it for this week. I hope you have a great 10 days or so. I will be back at you, let's say March 1st. Yeah, I'm not going to be back on the 28th because I'm going to record after the knit along is closed up. So I'll be back then, and until then, enjoy what you're knitting. Hopefully you want to knit some more sweaters, keep the motivation going, and I can't wait to show you what I finished. Okay. Crazy Stephanie, signing out.